Okay, so let's take a look at how you can connect Azure's Cosmos DB data to Power BI. So first thing, go to Azure portal and then click on Azure Cosmos DB. I assume that you have at least one instance of Cosmos DB account running. If not, then you'll have to create it by clicking on create. This should allow you to choose between the all API options for NoSQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB, Gremlin, Table, and Apache Cassandra. Out of all these options, pick the one that suits you. In my case, it was NoSQL, right? Then I picked my subscription resource group, right? Then account name, location, also capacity mode, then applied the free tier discount, then limit total throughput, right? All of these settings named, I managed to create that instance simply by clicking on review and create. Then I have this particular account which is ready to use now. As you can see, there isn't much movement. However, I managed to create a container which I can explore in Data Explorer, right? So here within data, you can see I have order database and then collection of orders whose items I can query with new query option, right? So let me check if I already run any previous query. Can simply pick your Data Explorer option, then choose items. Now here we can run this particular query. Let me just copy this and let me see if we have option of new SQL query. Here you can see we pasted the query. Now if we execute this, it should show you the all documents that we have. It's like total 9 documents we have within this particular database, and we can explore them on our own. Now the next thing that you can do is make sure to enable the Synapse. You can do so from here, and you can see enable Azure Synapse link, right? Now once we do that, we will be going for Power BI integration, right? Click on Power BI, take you there, and it will show you that account is updating, so it will take a bit of time to enable our container to choose our data. So meanwhile, we can take a look at options like our connection string. So let me go there. Overview, we have the next thing is checking out. Okay, here you can see even URI I would do for making the initial connection within Power BI, right? So you can use this and we will see if it allows us to access. Now there is also option of checking Data Explorer right from here or from here, right? Once we are done with that, let's take a look at whether we have our Synapse ready. Okay, as you can see, account enabled. Now let's see if it allows me to link the database, right? So database and collection, I'll click next, enabling Azure Synapse link. Enabling Synapse link for one or more containers. If you proceed to next steps, container will not be included in Power BI. If you need this data, wait for Synapse link to be enabled on these containers. So as you can see, we have to wait for this to finish properly. Right, once finished, it will allow you to get started. right? Meanwhile, we can go check other options of our Power BI, right? So if I go to Power BI desktop and let's say I go to get data, then I click on option for choosing the data. So it will open one pop-up sort of window where we have to check for Azure related services. So we can wait on this page meanwhile. Okay, so now here you can see Synapse is enabled and you can proceed to next steps. Click next. It will ask you for subscription, right? So analytics workspace can then set it up, right? Meanwhile, you can see we already established the Synapse link, so that's the only thing that we need, right? Now next, see, we will go to Azure to get data from Cosmos DB, right? Click connect. Now let's wait for our URL from the overview page. We can even copy this and paste it in text box. Then click OK. Then we need account key. Now here we can find the keys. We can then paste that into Cosmos DB's account key option. Click connect. And now it will open up for a dialog where we get to see our data. Okay, it will take a bit of time, but navigator will give you the access. Choose your documents here. You can see all the records. Make sure to load that. Okay, once you get the data, you are free to drop in the fields and then you can proceed ahead with Power BI visualization. Okay, so now we can do the recap. First thing we can do is go to Azure, then Cosmos DB. Then second we have done is created an instance account, and once we created that, we also went to Data Explorer where we created a new container and added some documents into our collection. Right here you can find all the items. Now the thing is we have to enable Synapse in order to connect with Power BI. So usually we can go to Power BI for integration, right? It contains the Synapse link option as well. So here you'll have to enable an account enable option comes in. Then enable your individual database and container and then click next. On the next page you can go for setting up Azure Synapse Analytics, but the thing is you don't have to go through this route because it will be creating T-SQL views, and if you already have T-SQL view within your Cosmos DB, then that's not needed. If you have like NoSQL and you want to use T-SQL view for Power BI, you can definitely go with this option. Right now, once you select either this option or you choose to go with key route, what you have to do is you will have to open your Power BI, then click get data, click more, and it will open up option to connect. Where we would be connecting to is Azure, right? And it would require the keys. So here, once it loads the get data option, click Azure, then Cosmos DB, click connect, right? Where it will come up with dialog like this. Here the URL that you want to use can be obtained from overview page, and here you have like that URI. Simply copy to clipboard and use it in your Cosmos DB option. Click OK. Then it will ask you for keys. Could be read write or simply the key that you can find on keys page. where you have to use either primary or secondary keys between read only or read write. Paste it, and then navigator like this appear, right? So currently this is NoSQL data, so you may notice that it is looking like this, right? So you can transform this or you can directly get it, but NoSQL won't work like that, right? So you'll have to get it in tabular format and then work with that. As you can see here, it will be very difficult for you to get this, so you may want to use converter like say JSON to SQL type of format or tabular format for that matter. Once you do that, you are good to go with for the processing of your data in Power BI. But the main goal was to connect your Azure from cloud to Power BI for data, and that too from Cosmos DB. So we managed to do that.